welcome back to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I'm Moses Wartooth, and I'm here with...
Justin Allen.
And we're going to start it off with entertainment like we like to normally do, but we got a little special segment that it's going into, I guess, so you want to lead us on this, Justin?
I'm just fascinated with the Australians' ability to talk some crap, man. Like, their sense of humor is on a whole nother level. But if you remember our last episode, we found Sky News in Australia. They were making some fun of Joe Biden, but they're back again.
They're at it again.
with some other stuff. And we wanted to start off with that, man, get some laughter in. So let's go ahead and roll it, man, and we'll watch it and talk about it.
Just what is happening with the president? It's looking increasingly like Joe Biden is getting a bit, well, wandery these days. I mean, just a year ago, the guy who was known as Walkaway Joe simply for his habit of walking out on press conferences. Now he's just wandering around aimlessly while other people are speaking. Have a look at the president in action in Arizona.
Much progress together, but we know that there is still work to be done, which is why we are going to organize like never before and ensure we are turning out the vote. And we know that, you know, there's so much at stake and that Donald Trump continues to pose a threat in so many ways. He continues to spew racist rhetoric.
Over there with the kids. Maybe he thought they had some ice cream. Who knows?
Dude, man, the Australians just do not give a shit when it comes to talking crap about
That woman was like...
Biden, dude.
That woman was talking shit about Trump as Biden was just wandering around.
He just looks genuinely confused, like, oh, where am I? Like, what's
And everyone
going on?
around him is confused with what the hell he's doing.
It looked like he's just sitting down starting to talk to some lady or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you want a drink? Like, you know?
He's like, oh, nice baby.
Do you think that he's like aware that he's doing that shit, man? You think it's just literally...
I think he's just straight wandering, man.
It must be kind of nice though, dude, you know?
To just be blissfully unaware of everything.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
going
like,
on.
you got all this crazy shit happening in the world. Probably like one of the most stressful jobs you could ever have.
And he's like just stress-free.
Fucking doesn't give a shit about it, dude. He's like that dude who works at the garden center in Lowe's in our hometown. He's just happy as hell. No, like, worries whatsoever. Just, like, watering flowers or whatever. But, yeah, man. That dude, he never ceases to amaze me. But the Australians, they're pretty
funny.
They're funny with that stuff, man. They're funny. Because you don't really see, like... I don't know, like, there's not a lot of comical news coverage. Really,
No, there's really not. Everything is just doom and gloom and, like, just negativity feeding that fire.
At least they, like, kind of take a laugh out of it,
Yeah.
you know, or in it.
Because we both try to watch newscasts from other countries and stuff, but I definitely can't think of any of them that are, like, that lighthearted.
It wears and tears on me, man. Like, because I'll watch, like, super conservative stuff, and I'll watch super liberal stuff, and all the crap in the middle, dude, and it'll take it out of you, man. You're like, holy crap, dude.
I actually like watching other countries' newscasts on America because I feel like it's a little bit slightly more unbiased. I mean, they're still pushing the agenda the same, and a lot of times they don't know what we know, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do like getting other countries' perspectives on us.
Well, my thing is, like, based on people that I know... All right, this is going to sound like bullshit, but, like, people that I know who have known people that worked in that industry, and then based on personal experiences of what I've seen in the military, like, I've seen, like, most of these mainstream media companies lie outright. And then, like, when they have to redact something or whatever, like, it's usually very quick, like, one line, like, oh, we got this wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's,
if
like,
they
gone.
do, some of them don't even do that at all.
Yeah, like, I mean, when I was, like...
But that's more, like, I feel like the only time they redact something is if they're facing, like, hey, you need to delete, like, you need to get rid of this information.
Well, like, did you ever see that, shit, man, he was one of the former directors of the CIA. God, I can't remember the guy's name. There was a congressional hearing about the intelligence communities, like, hey, like, are you involved in shit in America? And this dude was the director of the CIA, and he was directly asked, like, hey, do you have... essentially employees of the Central Intelligence Agency working in media, and he was like, yes. He was like 100%. He's like, we have several hundred of them that
Damn.
like write stories and they push a narrative and all that other stuff. And it was kind of cool. Like when I was working for the military, like you would see things like we get briefed, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Like this is what we're doing or whatever. And then you would just start seeing like news articles trickle in that support it.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd be like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then it caught him a couple times fucking some shit up. And I was just like, that's why like CNN is just hard for me to trust CNN at all, man. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, what do you.
Well, I mean, even, you know, like being in the military, they would always brief you on like what you can and can't say, or like if it was a newscast, like you're not supposed to talk to them, but you can talk to like, what was our personal, what, AFN? That was what was on the TV.
Armed Forces Network for like overseas stuff.
Yeah.
I always thought that'd be a cool job to do.
I
man.
think it would be, man, because it would be, I mean, well, it would be pretty close to like investigative journalist, almost.
If I could do it again, I think I would have been public affairs.
Yeah, I mean, they did have a sweet gig.
Yeah, I just think like the public speaking is cool, like especially if you can get into like where you go around filming and stuff like that. That would have been kind of cool. And plus, getting now, I mean, I wouldn't have known then that I'd be doing this. But
yeah, I mean, it sure as hell would have helped.
It would have fucking helped a little bit. While we're like trying to figure out how we use shit in our like bunker, you know. but yeah, man, the news media, like mainstream media in general, is like it's a drag, man. It almost feels like, have you seen that episode of South Park where Cartman has Butters filter all his social media?
Oh, to where he only gets the positive
He
stuff?
only gets the positive shit, and then like Butters literally has like a physical transformation. Like he's like sick, he can't sleep, and
he just reads and deals with hatred all day.
He's just like talking to himself. He's like, there's so much hate in the world. Like, holy shit. I mean, you go through like our comments section, it gets pretty interesting, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know, I agree with you, man. Like I found, at least me personally, like a lot of overseas media talking about America is typically a little more unbiased or whatever, so I usually try to go with that. But I don't know, you always gotta take it with a grain of salt. I mean, shit,
For sure.
at this point, especially with like AI and stuff rolling around, dog, I'm about this close to, if I didn't see it, that shit didn't happen, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah, if you didn't physically see that shit happen in the real world.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, that's just how it's gonna get too, man.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, have you seen Sora, that program?
No, but I've heard about it. That's one they make commercials with, right?
They're doing some hyper, like they're making scenes now, and again, this is in the infancy of the program, but they're already doing stuff that you can't tell. Like you can't tell that it's fake. It looks totally real.
I saw a clip where the guy prompted it. He was like, "Hey, like write me a movie about this or whatever."
Yeah.
And it wrote the movie, and then it provided the film for the movie. Mm-hmm. And it was just like that, man. And the clip that I saw, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
Yeah, I watched. It was a clip. This is the one that's been going around that I've seen. But it was set in Japan, and it was a woman walking through and there was rain on the ground, and it was a busy city like in Tokyo.
Yeah,
dude, it looked totally realistic. Like you couldn't tell that it was fake at all.
Damn. You know, I don't know, man. The whole film industry is about to get turned upside down on its head, man.
Yeah. One guy, I want to say Martin Lawrence, but I could be wrong on that. But
I love Martin Lawrence.
Well, somebody was building a $100 million production studio, and then whenever they saw Sora, they just stopped production.
Oh, I heard about that. They just literally were like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Like, because they were building like a like it was a massive.
It was a $100 million facility.
It was like rooms where it was like, okay, this is a bank, this is a hotel lobby, like all this where they could film all these scenes and stuff, you know. And it's like, holy shit, man.
They saw Sora and they were like, yeah, halt it.
That makes me wonder about like our sketch comedy stuff that we got planned, dude. It's kind of like, oh god, is this gonna be? I don't know, like, dinosaurs.
I don't know, dude. Like, I think that's going to be a positive for the average creator. Like someone that doesn't have a budget, all you're going to have to do is pay for that software. I mean, you're still creating the idea of it. And like in our case, we would still be doing everything. We would just be able to have a sick ass background.
True.
So.
It's still just us acting shit out or whatever. Just like, all right, cool, like whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think they're eventually going to come down with laws about it to protect like humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look at all the shit that's been happening with like the writer strikes and all that stuff, man. Like out in Hollywood. I mean,
and like for an extra, for example. Once you're an extra, then your likeness is just gonna be used forever. Like you literally sell your body to be used for future movies, and you don't make any money anymore.
I just do not agree with that at all, man.
I don't agree with that. I mean,
you have the right to sell your shit if you want, because Bruce Willis famously did that stuff. There was some media company he sold his likeness to.
oh, okay.
And so they have enough of like his voice recordings, like film and everything, where now they can literally in the future they can generate his character, because he started getting that degenerative neurological disease.
Right.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the last
he's
things.
bad
he
off
did.
now.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
It is.
But he was I always liked his stuff, man.
He was cool. Yeah.
The Fifth Element's like one of my favorite movies. That's such a cool movie, man. Especially like I think that might have been the first movie I ever bought on VHS.
Really?
Yeah. I think what's her name? Mila Jovovich?
Yes. Yeah.
Resident Evil chick. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I had like the biggest crush on her. I mean, I'm like 8 years old, right? Like I wouldn't know what to do with it if I got it, right? And I think I was in
No,
Target.
damn sure try something.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm there, but I'm gonna do something, goddammit. But I think I was in Target and I was like begging my mom, like, please, can I get this? And she was like, okay, like it'll be an early birthday present or some shit. I don't know. Like birthday was like a month away. I still have that tape somewhere.
Really?
Yeah,
Hell
yeah. I've been kind of wanting to like get back into like VHS, man. Like find like a player and then knock off the dust on some of my stuff.
Dude,
like,
you could probably get a VCR on eBay for like $20. It would probably cost more to ship it than the piece of equipment would.
Oh man, shit. What we got to talk about these drone strikes.
Yeah, this is like just
serious.
totally flipping the script on some serious shit. So apparently the Ukrainians loaded up a Cessna with explosives, remote flew it into Russia, and bombed a drone factory that was supposedly, I believe they were making drones for Iran. So,
damn,
we can go ahead and watch this video because it's pretty crazy.
We'll watch it and then we'll talk about it a bit better.
Iranian designed drones.
Мало просто сбивать беспилотники шахеды в украинском небе. Необходимо уничтожать их производство. И как только Россия начала демонстрировать, что в принципе это производство будет в Татарстане, они показывали эти видео, то есть они показывали это на своих каналах, было атаковано.
It looks like he just threw that.
I do have some cool drone stories.
Okay, so it came from Kiev.
Представьте себе, сколько он по территории России пролетел на самом деле. И фактически он сумел это сделать и не был замечен системами ПВО.
Yeah, and it wasn't able to be detected by Russia. So it made it all the way. It flew from Kiev and then 1,200 kilometers in before it went to its destination.
Yeah.
So another thing I thought was interesting is this is Radio Free Europe / Radio Liberty, and their pinned comment is, if you were following us from Russia, their site has been designated by the Russian government as an undesirable organization. You can still read and listen to us, follow and watch us safely. However, if you were in Russia or occupied Ukraine and Russia, blah blah, please note that you may risk fines or imprisonment for sharing, saving, or reacting to our content.
Yeesh.
So that's not good, man.
All right. Which one do you want to attack? You want to attack that comment first, or you want to talk about this fucking drone strike?
Let's do the drone strike.
All right, the drone strike's kind of gangster. So they just like got a fucking Cessna and decked that thing out. And they're like, fuck it, let's go.
Russian TV made the mistake of posting that shit, and they were like, "Oh, we're building Iranian drones."
They're like, "The fuck you are."
Yeah.
They keep trying to fucking slowly rope Iran into this shit, dude.
I know.
But I don't know. That is pretty gangster they did that, though, man. That's pretty cool. Just imagine like just being in like a war room and it's like, okay, like how are we gonna take this out? And some guy's like, all right, well, we can just strap some shit to that thing out there and then we'll just launch it. Like I don't know. It's like,
and I mean, realistically, even if it was the crash early, like they wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, like what do you lose? It's worth a shot, man. So I don't know. I'd be kind of curious to see. I don't know. Is there any kind of retaliation from that or whatever?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, that shit's ongoing. Damn, dude. I dropped the ball, man. I should have pulled that video. Did you see that Russian propaganda video that came out? Was basically telling Ukrainians not to fight for Ukraine.
No.
Dude, it's actually production quality wise. Like, the message isn't good, but like the production quality wise, they put money into this shit, man. And it is crazy. Like, they're just fucking with these guys hardcore.
Can we play it on here?
We'd have to find it on X or whatever. Yeah, well, fuck it, can't find that video. I'll track it down and then we'll throw it into this video later at the end, or then we'll do it or maybe next week or something like that. But it's a pretty good video, man. So it has, I mean, it's obviously it's propaganda. They're fucking with them, right? But it shows like essentially like two young Ukrainian men, roughly, right? And one is like in the trenches on the front line, seeing blood, like it's war, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other one is just like the son of like some rich oligarch fucking douchebag, and they just like paid to get out of there. So like they're just
he's like partying in Ibiza or something.
Dude, yeah. They have him like on a private jet. He's got like women shaking tits in his face and ass, and he's snorting. Like at one scene, he's snorting coke off a girl's ass, and then it just keeps flashing.
Good old Russian TV.
Yeah, and it just keeps flashing back to this dude like getting shot at and stuff, and essentially they're just saying that like pretty much your country's like corrupt, like don't go to war, don't go fight for these guys because they don't really give a shit about you. And I was just like, god damn. But that dude, just imagine like a big Instagram influencer lifestyle, like that's just basically what it was. It was just like him partying in a nightclub and this dude's like dodging bullets, seeing like somebody get their fucking head shot off or whatever. So it's wild, man. The Russians, they go for it, man. Yeah, I'll definitely find that video. I can't believe I didn't save it, man. I was like, what the fuck? When I saw it, I was like, holy shit, dude. But I guess get back to like the drones, man. I heard a funny joke the other day, and it said, America is the only place where drones are cool.
Yeah.
Like if you see one anywhere else, you're like oh shit. You know, like something's about to happen. But it's like America's the only place you'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like see it flying around or whatever.
America's the only place where like, quit spying on me. The other place where like, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen it's a Instagram channel and it's called Bums versus Drones. And it's in I think I have. They fly drones around like ghettos, and like crackheads will be like throwing shit at the drone, and they'll be freaking out about them, and they'll like trip back and fall or something. Like it's funny.
I've seen some videos like that, like where like dudes. I've seen him where he's like going after like prostitutes and stuff. Like it'll be like in like bad neighborhoods and shit, you know. So, and some of them like start picking fights. Some of them are just like nice, like wave or whatever. But a lot of them are like trying to fuck it up.
The tweakers are like, oh my god, it's the feds.
God, that psychosis, that paranoia kicking in or whatever. But yeah, man, drones are sneaky, dude. Like, did you ever work with them when you were in the Air Force, or work around them?
I worked around them.
Yeah, man. I never worked on them specifically. I mean, we gave them weapons for like the Reapers and shit. But
yeah.
I never worked with them like specifically, like as far as the engines or any of that stuff. But damn, dude, them things are quiet, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember we were like outside. I think we were just like throwing a football or some shit, smoking cigarettes one day. We're like on a break, and I look over and there's just like almost like I don't know, a squadron or a fleet of them. There's like 6 of them in a form. Yeah, and it's like literally just like a lawnmower engine attached to like that thing, and it's like. It was kind of funny when drone like warfare first started coming out, like us using it. Do you remember like all the protests behind it and stuff, like the moral and ethical concerns of that? And I remember specifically like our first gen drones, we had the Predator and we had the Reaper, right? Mm-hmm. And so like the Reaper actually carried like munitions to go fucking take out a target. Now the Predator, like all it did was just observe. That was it. Like just cameras,
spying, and radar and shit.
Yeah. And so I just remember like there was these people protesting on the streets, and they were like talking about how it like dehumanizes like warfare, and it's just like completely unacceptable to use this type of technology in war. And they're holding pictures of the Predator,
like with no weapon capabilities.
Yeah, it's like it literally isn't even used for that. It's
Dude,
like, oh, whatever.
I don't understand. Well, I don't understand their argument on that in the first place, because to me, like, I get it's a separation, but to me, like, I would much rather be flying a drone in another country than have boots on the ground and waste our lives.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
of course.
I don't understand that.
Absolutely.
Like, if
man.
we're in a conflict, which even like with all the shit going on now, I don't think there's any reason for us to have boots on the ground in another country.
No, not at all.
Like in a country that we're engaged in a conflict.
Yeah, our technology is good enough. Like we shouldn't be like
we should be able to just be kicked back playing Xbox controllers flying the drones, like which they do use fucking Xbox controllers.
Yeah, some dude like in a fucking Connex in Las Vegas just sitting there like
yeah. You're like, Call of Duty shit. But dude, I was stationed with a girl, and we were at a house party, so I was talking to her, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get out, and I was like, oh damn, like what's wrong? And she was like, well, I've got PTSD and I just can't handle my job anymore. And I was like, oh damn, like what do you do? And she was like, I'm a drone pilot. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, so she had PTSD for which I don't know, man. Everybody's different, but I'm like at that time I was like, you signed up for that job. You knew exactly what you were doing. Like you have a job to do at this point.
It's not like that was snuck in. No. But like they've been doing a lot of research on that stuff, man, and apparently it really does fuck with a lot of those guys. Like,
I just don't see it, man.
It's probably easy. Well, it's probably easy for us to like not really like understand because we don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I imagine like, okay, if it's like a one time, it's like one time do it. But if it's like every day you go to work, every day, especially if you start like, that's a job you can't fuck up at.
No.
You know what
I don't know, dude. Drone.
They do.
I was gonna say the statistic for drone attacks are like they fuck up a lot.
Shit, do you remember when Obama fucking bombed that wedding?
Yeah, dude.
Had to take one guy out and just destroyed his whole family like in the process. Like holy shit! It was a wedding or a funeral? I think it was a wedding.
I think it was a wedding.
Yeah. God damn, bro.
Maybe that's why they have PTSD. They're like killing too many innocent people.
That's probably really what it is, man. And who knows? Like, probably a lot of shit they can't even talk about, like targets that were hit and stuff. You know?
I don't know, man. I feel. I don't know. I guess you'd have to have the right mindset to do that job. But I feel like those protesters were saying, like there is a layer of like dehumanization. Like you can just kind of look. I mean, this is fucked up to say, but you could look at it as like, it's a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Like, woo, those dots are gone now. Like, I don't know.
Oh, no more dots.
Yeah.
I think, like, in theory, it works. But, like, I don't know, man. I remember when WikiLeaks blew the lid off the fucking Afghan and Iraq war diaries and shit. And it was, like, that was when we started really getting some new technology in. And, dog, that was some dark shit they were putting up. Like, I mean, they were just, like, you name it, like, anything. Like, they would have a target. And it'd be like a helicopter pilot and be like, okay, like, we don't know if this individual was armed or not. And then, like, they would just call it in, just be like, fuck it, just take a shot. They'd be like, well, there's 3 people. I'd be like, whatever, take them out too. And they just, like, mow them the fuck down, dude. You just be like, God damn, dude.
With us talking about that, how does that compare to what's going on in Israel and Palestine? Because Israel is doing the same shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they're both of those sides are guilty as fuck, man. I would just want to stay out of it because that's a fucking holy war.
It's a holy war.
That's never going to end. That ends one way.
Genocide.
Yeah, like one of those fucking parties has to be eradicated from the face of the earth. That's the only way that ends. Because even if they do like a 2-state agreement or whatever the fuck, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that, you're just kicking a can down the road, man. And I'm not condoning violence. Like, obviously, we wouldn't want that shit to happen.
No, I mean, it's fucking terrible.
That's how it's going to end. If you just fast forward quick enough.
Yeah, whenever religion is involved in that manner, there's no peaceful end to it.
Yeah.
Whenever both parties are so dedicated and, like, dead set on their ways. And, I mean, they literally hate the other people because of their religion. Yeah. So there's no change in that.
What gets me is, like, a lot of these world leaders and, like, politicians, no one wants to admit that openly.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because it's so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, dude, it's like, what do you think is going to happen at the end of this? But also, at the end of the day, like I said, man, that ain't our shit. But I don't know, man. That Israel-Palestine shit is getting pretty fucking wild, man.
It's crazy.
Oh my God, man. I saw a statistic the other day about made me sick to my stomach, man. So the United Nations, they keep a tally. I mean, they all sorts of statistics, right? But one thing they do track is casualties, like in conflicts or whatever. So these can be like little like civil wars happening in like Africa, for example, or the shit in Israel and Gaza, or like the shit happening between Ukraine and Russia. They said that the amount of children that have died in the conflict just the first quarter of this year, January, February, March, the amount of children that have died is like, it just exceeded the amount of children that died in conflict globally for the entire last year.
Damn.
Just from that conflict
And that's
alone.
like basically in the Gaza Strip?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, it was over 12,000.
12,000?
12,000, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's
what I read.
Who is reporting those numbers?
Read it on X. Come on.
Yeah, but I know, but like who over there is reporting
I don't
those
know.
numbers?
I mean, you can believe it if you want, but there's a lot of motherfuckers dying, dude. And then like,
well, because I just read other statistics that said 13,000 Houthi rebels are like actual like bad guys had been killed, and around 33,000 Palestinians were killed, but the 13,000 is deducted from that 33. So the remainder of that, like obviously a ton of like more civilians have died than bad people. So I mean, and if you do want to take that civilian casualty, I'm sure the majority of those were women and children. So I mean, actually that number may be pretty fucking accurate, man.
I don't like it was like
bad.
a legit page. Like it wasn't like a parody page or like someone just like copy and paste and shit. Fuck, it might have been from the UN's page actually. But yeah, I remember just like coming across it on X. I follow like a lot of crazy statistic stuff on X or whatever, just to look for like patterns and trends. But yeah, man, I was like, holy shit, dude. And then like, I don't know, man, you got to think, dude, like survivors of that shit, man, they grow up, they have fucking kids.
They grow up with hate.
Yeah. You know, and
they're like, Mom, they bombed my mom when I was 8 years old. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna hold a grudge.
So I don't know. That shit just does not end well, man. And I mean, I'll predict it. I mean, it comes out with Israel controlling all of it. You know,
but that's gonna take the help of America, well, of the UN, like everyone else. We're all gonna have to help with that shit.
Shit, America's already talking some shit about squeezing down on fucking Israel right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a little concerned about the amount of bombings Israel's doing, and they're like, hey, can we like kind of tone this shit down a little bit? Like, we want to keep helping you guys, but yeah, come on, literally, like
the foot off the gas just a little bit.
Yeah, dude, take it easy on them. Because if you look at the statistics, the amount of like Palestinians versus like Israelis, like death-wise, dude, it's insane. Like, they're significant, just in all their conflicts they've had, like just say in the last like 2 decades. Dude, it's like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. like, yeah, it's those Israeli dudes. I mean, they take motherfuckers out. Like, they don't give a shit.
Dude, the Israeli special forces are some of the baddest dudes in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their shit is insane.
Did I ever tell you that I knew a guy that lived in actual fear of the Mossad for a while?
Really?
Yeah, this is like 100% true story. So you know that time I spent like in Amsterdam or whatever? Mm-hmm. All right. So I became friends with a guy, and he goes by Robin is his name. Now his real name is like super Russian, right? And now he's Dutch. He's just Russian descent because his mother, I can't remember. It was like a small genocide was happening. His mother fled Russia with him, and they eventually made it to Holland, and they settled down. They basically asylum seekers or whatever. And so anyway, his family gets involved in the cannabis business over there, right? They open like coffee shops and shit, and everything's like going really good, right? And so this motherfucker's like, oh, I'm gonna expand, and he's the same age as me too. So I see what this guy has done. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is amazing. And like, I'll tell you the name of his company later. He's got a really cool name for it. But they actually just purchased like this huge like storefront in Amsterdam too.
Damn,
so it's like awesome. Really nice. It's like on the canals and stuff, and that shit's expensive as hell, dude. But anyway, So he's like, you know what? I want to get into selling like equipment to grow cannabis, like for people at home and stuff. And so he starts like selling like lights. He's just, wholesale buying shit, repackaging it, rebranding it, tents, you name it. And then he's like, well, fuck it, I want to get into fertilizers. So then he goes and he works for this company, okay? And they created a fertilizer. It uses like some microorganism shit, I don't know, some fungi shit. And it's a tablet that you just put in the soil and then you plant your plant on top of it, right? And then it like helps it out growing or whatever. Well, he goes works for that company and then he's like, oh, I could do this. And figures out how they do all their shit, and then he just goes and starts his own company doing the exact same thing, right? But he just already has a way better marketing, so his shit like blew up compared to theirs, right? And they know what he did. They're like, God damn it. So anyway, he's shipping seeds all over the world because he had a seed company too. And he was like, man, the money.
So he was cradle to grave on that product.
Oh, yeah, man. And it was really crazy because he would talk about the laws over there. He'd be like, what I do is technically legal, but there is an illegal aspect of it. So for people who don't know, like, they got coffee shops in like Holland, you can smoke weed. I mean, you just smoke weed. You can just sit there, you just buy it right off the shelf, roll it right there and just smoke. It's kind of cool to see or whatever. But the problem is...
But you're not allowed to smoke it in the street, correct? Or had they...
It's not enforced, man, because end-user quantities of drugs are decriminalized. Okay. So you're not going to get a ticket. You're not going to go to jail or anything like that.
So it's just like as long as you're not being stupid.
Pretty much, yeah. And the whole time I was there, I only saw a cop one time. I'm pretty sure he was just going to work. But inside the coffee shops, there's a legal limit to how much cannabis they can have. It's only 500 grams at a time.
That the coffee shop can keep on hand?
Yeah, on hand.
Okay.
So if you got 100+ customers rolling through and it's nighttime on a Saturday, you're going to run out of... It's roughly a pound. It's a little less than a pound. You're going to run out of that quick.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Well, that's where the illegal side comes in. So they literally have... It's all organized crime. It's a lot of, like, immigrants who do it, like, from Africa and, like, the Middle East and shit. And, like, they'll set up... literally houses, like flats or whatever.
Like a stash house?
And they just grow a fuck ton of weed, dude. And so, like, my buddy was like, yeah, I got to go talk to the growers, get, like, a bag, and then go run it to the shop. But he's like, but if I get caught with that bag in the streets, I can get charged.
Because he has more than user quantity?
Yes. But he was like, I just got to make it through the front door.
So, like, he's to hire some fucking linemen. Like,
dude, if you look into it, it's really entertaining. Like the law, because they acknowledge that people are gonna do it, but like the laws are kind of goofy around it. But
it's
anyway,
like some don't ask, don't tell shit.
Yeah, dude, you just got to make it through that front door and you're safe, dude. So, but he had a different car for every day of the week. Like, because he was just worried about the police, like,
just watching him.
Yeah. So, but anyway, to get back to the massage story. So, he's shipping, like, he's not shipping weed, obviously, but he's shipping seeds. As, what is it? Not, like, souvenirs.
Oh, okay.
They'll be like, oh, this is like albino rhino or whatever, or northern lights. And it's like, obviously, if you put it in the dirt and put some water on it, it'll grow.
It's like for display purpose only.
Yeah. Like when they used to sell bath salts at the gas stations.
Yeah,
here,
not for human consumption.
Right.
Yeah.
But, fucking, so he's shipping all this fertilizer and all just shit, fertilizer, seeds, you name it, t-shirts, apparel, like everything, all over the world he's shipping it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody in Israel orders an industrial amount of like some fertilizer shit that he had that was specifically catered to growing cannabis. And these motherfuckers seized that shit, right? And they were like,
Damn, so like customs grabs it on the border or something?
Now it's Israeli customs, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently they had busted these guys and they were like just growing shit, which I guess, from my understanding, I guess Israel does not fuck around with that shit at all. So...
Yeah, they're one of the zero tolerance.
He gets like an official letter from like the Israeli government. And they're like, you sent this on this date, like all this to these people, like we've seized this. Like they tell him he's no longer, like he's never allowed in Israel.
Dude, I would never want to go back. I would never want to go there anyway.
Dude, he was so fucking paranoid for like the longest time. He was like, dude, I thought the fucking Mossad was gonna come fucking assassinate me. I was like, dude, you just shipped some Miracle Grow. No one gives a shit.
Yeah,
like. But yeah, dude,
don't go anywhere near their border. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I was like, you should go take a vacation over there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's 100% true story too, man. That guy's got an interesting story, man. It's really good, but some of the cannabis laws there, man, it just blew my mind. Just, all you gotta do is make it through the door. It's like, what are we doing? But then you can go buy mushrooms. Well, now truffles, but you can go buy mushrooms like right off the street and take them.
I did that when I was there. It was a hell of an experience.
Yeah. I mean, I spent some time there, like once I got out of the military and stuff, and I was just like, dude, this is great. I love this place. Shit, man. But I don't know. It's different all over, Europe and the rest of the world. There's always like just little differences, that I'm like kind of like, that's kind of a little quirky.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see things that work. You're like, oh, we should probably adopt something like that into our culture.
Other times we got to look back and reflect on who American people are and be like, we can't handle this.
And that brings us into our next topic, Scotland, right?
Yeah. Free speech.
Oh, man. Do you want to take the lead on this one, man? Because Scotland's kind of like kicking up some shit right now.
Yeah, so basically as of April 1st, Scotland passed a new hate crime law, which basically, long story short, like if you say anything that's deemed violent or aggressive towards another, it's ethnicity, trans people,
DEI, across the board.
Yeah, there you go. Then you could face criminal charges.
Yeah, because I mean they're talking about. I was reading about a case where they were talking about putting a dude in prison.
Yeah.
Over a fucking Facebook
tweet.
comment or some shit. Yeah, dude.
So let's watch the video because this actually explains it pretty good, and then we'll go in after that.
Very good one. Scotland's new hate crime laws were expected to meet a backlash, and here it was on day one. Protesters gathered outside Holyrood, voicing concern with a bill they say stifles free speech and can be exploited by those looking to silence particular groups. Among those angered are the author J.K. Rowling. In a thread on X, formerly known as Twitter, she lists a number of high-profile controversies involving trans women before questioning their gender. Freedom of speech and belief are at the end in Scotland if the accurate description of biological sex is deemed criminal. I'm currently out of the country, but if what I've written here qualifies as an offence under the terms of the new Act, I look forward to being arrested when I return to the birthplace of the Scottish Enlightenment. On a visit to a hospital, First Minister defended the legislation which he says will help protect marginalised groups.
I'm very proud of the Hate Crime Act. Freedom of expression, for me, ensures that we've got a piece of legislation that will be enacted and implemented in a way that is absolutely balanced and make sure it absolutely protects people in their freedom of expression, but guards people from, as I say, that rising tide of hatred we've seen far too often in our society.
This protest has been organised by a relatively fringe group, but those concerns go beyond the margins, provoking debate around not just free speech, but also how the police enforce this new law. Which is why Scotland's Police Federation are worried about its impact.
It is a recipe for disaster and it's a real concern. Every time a new law gets passed, that police officers then have to attend more and more calls. Now, we've got 1,000 less officers at the moment, so it is going to have an impact on policing.
After 3 years of debate, the Scottish Government wanted this to be a landmark piece of legislation, but instead, today could signal the start of even deeper division. Shingi Marike, Sky News.
Damn, brother.
So that's, first off, it takes away from the police's ability to investigate legitimate crimes.
Yes.
Like that guy was saying, they're 1,000 officers short.
Already.
Yeah. And I read that that Scotland already doesn't have enough police force. So like petty crimes, they're already not investigating that.
That sucks, man.
They're going to be dropping even more petty crime shit to go after
bullshit
Facebook trolls. Like,
dude, oh my God, man.
And then they have the balls to talk about, we're protecting free speech. Like, what?
Yeah, like these like marginalized groups. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you should just, I don't know. We both are a firm believer of free speech across the board. Like, even if I don't agree with like your views or whatever,
yeah,
I mean,
you should have the right to say it.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And I mean, I believe that 100%. Obviously, there are some levels of like limitations to that. Like, you can't scream fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean. Like, there's a couple other things I want to say, but I don't feel like having like the feds on my shit. Like, there's just certain words like can't talk about certain people
and phrases, certain terms.
So, but But yeah, man, that's fucking dangerous, man.
The bad part about that is that just leaves everything open to interpretation.
Yes,
there's
and then it's
no
like,
defined, like, if there was like maybe like a list of statements that you couldn't say or something.
oh, dude, that just sounds horrible, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't agree with that either, but the way that they word stuff now, or there's lack thereof, is just very, like, it's open to interpretation. Which means if they don't like what you say, then they can just personally
and
go after you.
It's like, who is interpreting that?
That's the thing.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even though that law might get passed, I mean, those people that like actually interpret that, like they can change, man. And then with that, it comes like new people. Ideologies may not be the same.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, man. And you see this shit. Motherfuckers try to do it all the time. Like, they even try that crap in America, dude. Like, they try to constantly like silence people and be like, "Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that." How many times? I don't know. Just get on fucking Twitter or X, get on Instagram, whatever. See all these comments and constantly it's usually like some liberal douchebag is on there
Most of the time.
and they're just like, "Oh, this channel should be shut down. This should not be
like,
allowed on the
I can't
internet."
believe you're allowed to say this. Like, dude, if you don't like it, just shut up and fucking keep going
Yeah,
on, man.
dude.
Like, there's hundreds of hours of content being uploaded every fucking second, dude.
Yeah.
Just refresh your page.
Yeah, man. And like, my thing is like, I'd rather have the ability to have access to all information versus
100%, man, because we are like, it's already tough. I know both of us have had issues with like trying to find the actual story.
Yes.
And you can't find it. It's either pages down from just bullshit propaganda stuff with like narrated stories that are pushing their agenda, and it's very hard to actually find legitimate facts anymore.
Fuck it, I'm going back to Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, remember that shit?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I see a lot of people like, God, like they'll be like protesting, man, and like, I don't know, insert whatever like cause. You know, I mean, we have a million of them that we fucking constantly bitch about in this country, but, and a lot of these people, like, they get pissed. They're like, the opposition should not have a voice, but you got to hear me in the streets yelling and crying. I'm like, what? Hold on, this shit don't fucking work like that, man.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, my opinion, I know we're talking about Scotland here,
but it's trickling out. I mean,
Yeah.
Canada's doing the same shit.
Australia,
I believe the UK
too.
already is. Australia. Yeah. America would love to do that.
Fuck
like,
that. Dude, it's never gonna work. Even if they made that shit a law, do you realize that they passed a law and they're like, okay, you can't say these 10 words?
Dude, you know how many rednecks are going to post up in their house, go live stream, say that shit with a shotgun on the other end of the door? Like,
yeah, dude.
try to take me out of my house, boy.
Fucking Obama.
Yeah, I know he's behind this.
He's the one really controlling Biden. But, yeah, dude. And, like, my thing is, like, if you're just, like... If you're against like free speech, man, like across the board, that's like, you're just not, that's un-American.
100. Yeah, you're not that's not what America is about.
Yeah, you should be able to say whatever the fuck
America
you want.
is about people being able to act however stupid they want to and say stupid shit, even if you don't agree with it. You gotta just.
But that shit that we just watched with Scotland, that's a made up problem, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what happens with like bureaucrats, like these fucking lifelong politicians and shit. They sit in these fucking seats.
Well, a lot of that is the issue with their immigration laws, because a lot of locals are pissed at immigrants, and they tossed in, I was reading like the actual additives to it, and one of it is specifically talking about illegal immigrants in a negative way or a way that incites violence. So that's their back angle of like dealing with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Fuck, dude, I don't know. And then I don't even know if I really want to go down that road, dude, because I'm about to start saying some crazy shit, dude. 'Cause I don't know, man. It's getting crazy, man. I'm starting to see, especially like in Western civilization, like cultures are being eroded, man.
Yeah.
To make way for like literally, like, I get, man, immigration. I 100% like cool. But, like, the thing is, and we've talked about it before, like, if you go somewhere else, like, you don't tell them to change based on your beliefs.
Exactly.
Like, you adapt to them, right? Like, did you ever see that girl from, where was she from? I think she was from Syria. Anyway, she was, like, an asylum seeker in Norway. And, like, the Norwegian government, like, she was, like, being interviewed by, like, fucking, I don't know, BBC or some crap. And she was literally complaining that there was too many Norwegians in Norway. Yeah, and like the guy on the camera was just like, "What? Like, what did you think you were gonna find here? Like, you know
where you are, right?
Yeah, she was just talking about like basically like there's too many Norwegians. Like she was like specifically calling them out for being white and like their culture and like all this other stuff and everything. And I was just like, what do you expect, man? You know, it's like
should I go to Syria and be like, there's too many damn Syrians around here? Where's the white boys at?
Give me a couple brothers in here, man. Like, we'll be all right, you know. But fuck, man. So I don't know, but that's also like the most caring shit is like where, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. It's like when you step into another culture and say you have to change based on my beliefs.
Dude,
that's not how it works.
That's
man.
like if I go to your house and just start treating it as mine and just doing whatever I would do in my own house.
Start moving shit around.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't like the way your furniture
like, in
looks.
my house, my TV's on this wall. And just be like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Put that shit down, man. Yeah. But I don't know. That fucking legislation that Scotland just pushed, that's dangerous, man.
Shout out to J.K. Rowling, because she's a badass, dude.
She don't give a fuck, dude. Like, straight up, man.
She's always talking shit on X, and it is hilarious.
Dude, she is not down with the trans community at all, man.
No.
Like, I remember, like, one time she posted something. She was like, look, like, if you want to do that, like, that's your business, that's fine. But, like, I'm not going to redefine what a woman is. She was like, those aren't real women. She was just basically saying that, like, a woman is born with the ability to reproduce.
Yeah.
You know, like ovaries, a whole 9 yards and stuff. And so
she's like, I'm not going to deny science.
I think she specifically said real women have periods. And that, like, fucking melted the internet when she said that. I think that was a recent statement, too, man. So... But I don't know, dude. That's super dope, man. And it's like it's kind of funny too, because like they're trying to paint her out to be like this horrible human being, and she's actually like a really good person.
Yeah.
She's,
there's way too many Harry Potter fans for her to go down negatively.
Yeah, like. Dude, she could come out dressed as a SS officer, right?
And be like, I just wrote the 8th book.
Yeah, and give a fucking speech, right? She's talking about, I don't know, man, fucking eliminating Israel off the face of the earth or some shit, you know what I mean? Giving the Heil Hitler or whatever. And fucking millions of people would still be like, that's the greatest book that she's ever written, you know? Because, like, once you're in that cult, man, like, it's kind of hard to get out of that shit. But yeah, man, no, she's okay, so she's not like a fucking SS officer, like, obviously, but she, like, just the amount of charity work she's done is insane, dude. You realize that she, like, willingly forfeited being a billionaire?
Really?
Yeah. She's made enough money to be a billionaire, but she's given up so much money that she's no longer, like, on that list of billionaires or whatever. And she's given, like, hundreds of millions of dollars to, like, legit charities and stuff. And she's done a lot of shit in Scotland and stuff too, man. So now they're just over here trying to make her sound like a fucking war criminal or some shit.
Imagine if they do arrest her.
Dude, fuck, man. That'd be kind of interesting to
it would
see how, because she got some fucking fans, dude. You know, so I don't know. But, Jesus Christ, man. It would be wild, dude. People would freak the fuck out if they arrested J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got all these real issues happening, and then as soon as she lands, like, it's like, get on the ground, bitch! like kicking her and shit, you know?
All right, Trump's he's gonna become president. He's gonna have her sent over, and he's gonna be like, you're now my vice president. Dude, imagine Trump and J.K. Rowling running America.
Holy shit, dude. Do you have to be a
citizen?
Well, I guess you would have to be a citizen, but do you have to be a, like, natural born to be vice president?
No, because remember the fucking Obama thing? That was the whole thing.
Was it? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, like...
Because I know you have to be born in the United States to be president, but it's like to be vice president. Like,
well, even, like, Biden... Obama's shit, like, that was a whole argument, which I still don't know if it was true, but he was, like, apparently not born in America.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
You remember that shit when Trump was... asking he was like, I'll give you $1 million to the charity of your choice if you just show me your birth certificate.
Yes.
And he, like, wouldn't do it for, like, the longest time, and then finally the White House just produced, like, some shitty ass Photoshop document.
I was gonna say, like, I could have done a better job on that.
It's like, oh, he was born in Hawaii, you know. So, goddamn.
Here's McLovin, a 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor.
Yeah, dude. Still to this day, man, I think one of the best, like, clips of Trump is that White House Correspondents' dinner when, like, Obama's making fun of him, and he's like, oh, Donald Trump's never going to be president of the United States, and, like, the entire room is laughing at Trump, and you can just see it on his face. In that moment, that was the moment he realized, like, fuck you, I'm going to be president. You know? So, all right, man, I guess we can move on. You want to talk about our favorite person? We haven't shit on her in a while.
I know. I haven't heard about her in a while. I guess she's still been doing her thing. But
oh, Greta Thunberg,
yeah.
man. She's
justice was served today.
Dude, oh my god. All right, so what did this chick? So she's in Holland.
Yeah.
And she got arrested in Holland, like in the Netherlands, which is extremely difficult to do because they don't really arrest people there, you know. So I don't know. She was doing some protesting shit.
She's a troublemaker, man.
Good. We can play the video, man, and then we'll shit on Greta Thunberg some more.
Cut.
All right, 54 minutes. Probably go like an hour and 10 or something like that.
Cut.
Now, Dutch police have arrested several climate activists who attempted to block a main road in The Hague. Those detained included the Swedish campaigner Greta Thunberg. Our correspondent Anna Holligan was there. The final few climate activists have just packed up their banners and are preparing to go home. Earlier, there were cries, cheers of "You are not alone" as Greta Thunberg was picked up off the highway by Dutch police and pushed on to a minibus along with hundreds of other protesters. You can see her here chatting happily to fellow activists. She's here in The Hague to announce international actions against governments who make it cheap and easy for large companies to use fossil fuels by offering them tax breaks and subsidies on excise duties. Greta Thunberg described her arrest as peaceful. Most of the protesters have gone home or been detained.
Look at that, though. That don't look peaceful.
Yeah.
Buses. Police are just keeping watch to make sure that nobody else tries to block this highway, the A12 in The Hague.
Oh, Greta. My favorite person, man. All right, so for those of you listening who don't know, probably like 4 months ago, we went through a phase where we just made fun of her like nonstop, relentlessly.
Yeah.
So, dude. I don't know. So she's back at it protesting.
So she was all that protest does is, again, hurt the working class.
Yeah.
Like, she's not getting anything accomplished. Nothing is getting, like, I don't know, man. Because in that particular instance, she was protesting cheaper rates for people that are like companies that were using fossil fuel. Again, that helps the like average person.
Well, like the Dutch also have like the most lucrative tax law and lucrative corporate tax law in the world. It's 0%. So yeah, dude, it's this is like true. I'm not just pulling this out. I'm not pulling this out my ass. So if you have what's called a multinational corporation, meaning that you employ at least 500 people that are not Dutch citizens, but you are based out of like the Netherlands, then you receive a corporate tax rate of 0%.
Damn.
Now, the payroll tax is still deducted from the employees. That's kind of the way they see it. They're like, fuck it. We'd rather just have these corporations come over and make all this goddamn money, pay these people a shit ton, and then we'll get our taxes on the back end. Like, we don't give a shit. So, I don't know, man. Like,
That seems like a pretty smart idea.
it is. It's amazing. That's why, like, it literally is, like, that's why the Netherlands is so nice, man. They have money for shit like that because they get it, man. Like, they're not... You know, like here, like, I don't know, just tax the shit out of you, like, nonstop.
And then just send all the money to other countries.
Yeah, you know, they actually spend it on roads and shit over there.
Yeah, they spend it on their own people. Dude, imagine if America spent all of our tax dollars and resources on America.
You trying to make me come, dude?
Dude, that would be amazing.
Yeah, man. They, I don't know, man. They do good. But Greta, she's all, she's always trying to be like
I feel like she's a plant, dude. Like
she's got to be. Who
they
keeps
just
giving her
propped
money?
up. I don't know, man. Like
how does she afford flying around? Like, would she go back? She's from Sweden, right? Is that where she's from?
Yep.
All right. Would she's like go back and work at like McDonald's or something? To
Nah,
save
dude,
up?
I would assume now she has such a big social media presence, she just gets paid off of that kind of shit. I would think.
So probably more than anything at its core,
she's like an influencer.
This is literally just to get paid.
Yep, probably. I mean, this is her job, is to go around protesting and making a scene and getting famous and getting paid. Like, it's a cycle. So I guess that's her job. She's a professional protester.
I don't know, man. She's fucking retarded. I mean, I get like taking care of the environment and stuff like that, try to do better and stuff, but like those really radical changes where they want that shit to happen overnight, like
it's too much.
They don't.
It damages too much shit.
Yes, dude. Like, you're still talking about. They're so concerned about the future for humans. It's like, dude, you're about to fuck up an entire generation, especially that piece of shit Green New Deal that the AOC and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse are trying to push. Dog, what the fuck are you talking about? They'd be like, oh, it's $1 trillion pack. Like, you shove that up your ass, like, you know, but it's too radical, man. Like, change has to be steady. Like, it is slowly integrated, man. Mm-hmm. You can't just come in overnight.
We can't just flip a switch.
Yeah. Destroy entire industries and shit because it makes you feel better at night.
Because those people, again, it doesn't affect them. They already have enough money. They don't have to worry about shit. They can already afford to do whatever that shit anyways. And most of those people are fucking hypocrites.
Yeah. Like,
they're over there bitching about saving energy but flying on private jets and stuff.
Yeah. Like, what is that, John Kerry? He's always, like, fucking big on... like the environment and shit, but he's like flying around like 5 times a day, like in this massive jet or whatever. But fucking man, what gets me too with like some of the climate change activists, excuse me, is I know a few of these people, man, like the electric cars that they'll drive. And they try to like shame you into not having one or whatever, you know. And it's just like, dude, how do you think those things are made? Like, where do you think that electricity comes from?
Yeah.
Do you think the great state of Texas has, like, massive solar grids?
Because we don't.
And then those...
We don't even have... Our electric grids are shitty enough as it is.
And then those solar panels, how do you think those are manufactured? Like, at the end of the day, you're burning coal. Like, whether you want to admit it or not, you know? So... I don't know, man, but Greta, she just gets under my skin because there's nothing to her, man. She's not an expert in anything, right?
No.
She has no real, like, history. Like, all she did was got propped up by, like, her fucking parents, gave some shitty-ass fucking speech, looked the world in the face on a camera, and was like, how dare you? I'm like, bitch, shut up.
Like, you ain't done nothing.
You know? You know, like, come on, man. You know, like, has she even made like a documentary? Has she even tried that? You know, like, that's a good start. Try there, like, you know, start there, whatever. But man, she's just something else. But I did see a funny ass photo on X of her getting arrested, and because she got like arrested.
Yeah.
Once again, it's the Netherlands. So.
They were like, "Come on, go at the."
Dude, if I had to pick a country to get arrested in, Netherlands is like a top 3. Like, for sure. It's like Netherlands, Norway, and Sweden.
Yeah, I was going to say, during hard time, you want to go to the Nordic country because their fucking prisons are like 3-star hotels.
Dude, they got...
Like, they're nice as shit.
Do you know who Anders Breivik is?
No.
Okay, this would be a quick sidebar, then I'll get back on there. Just don't ever forget to remind you of the funny photo saw of Greta. But Anders Breivik was a terrorist, a domestic terrorist in Norway, I believe. Mm-hmm. And... far right extremist, like hardcore. He kind of had like some Unabomber shit going on, but he was an idiot. And so he ended up committing a very large like mass shooting. And this is not even all that long ago. The guy is still alive, and he did it when he was young too, man. Mm-hmm.
Wrote his manifesto in crayon.
Yeah, he like he tried to do. I believe it was like a car bomb, and then immediately following that, he hopped on a ferry, went to a fucking island off the coast of Norway. It was obviously still Norwegian land.
Yeah.
And literally just like murdered the majority of people on this small island.
Damn.
And there was like no police there. He just for hours.
They were just sitting ducks like.
Yeah. And he just walked around and was just like capping people and shit and stuff. But anyway, so they locked his ass in fucking prison. And this is one thing that's cool. I didn't know this. I believe in Norway, if I remember right, the maximum sentence anyone can ever receive for any crime is 21 years. No matter what the crime is, no matter how insane it is, the max you can receive is 21 years. However, if you're deemed a threat to society, every 5 years you go up for a review and they can push it to 21 again.
Oh, okay.
So they can't just give you like 100
So
years.
you can't get life for some shit, but every 5 they can just, you can still just never get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole point about this Anders Breivik dude is he became like, he thought he was going to be like this, like start like basically like this race war.
Like he was a martyr type shit.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be this huge leader of like a fucking alt-right movement or whatever, and that didn't happen at all. He was literally just like a lone wolf. And but he became like the biggest bitch ever, like in prison. He's in a Norwegian prison, and he wanted to be like, what's that complex where you want to be like, I guess like a martyr complex, right?
Like a god complex, like a.
He wanted to be tortured. He wanted to be put on display and be like,
Oh, okay.
I've done this for the cause, you know? And so really,
Like
like
Jesus.
yeah, like a savior complex
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
shit, right? And but he just like cried and bitch, and still does to this day, because he'll be like, "Oh, my TV's not big enough."
I wanted more peanut butter on my sandwich.
He made an official complaint that I think he should have went from an Xbox. I think at the time it was 3 to 4, because it would give him more games to play. And it's just shit like that. And it's like, dude, you shot and killed like almost like a fucking 100 people, like brutally, man. Like what the fuck, man? So they just like, I mean, they do it because they treat everyone the same in Norway, all their prison system, but. They give him all the shit, but he just bitches and complains. And, like, they'll have to come in there. Because, I mean, like, their cells, they look like literally like apartments.
Yeah.
Like, they have their own bathrooms, right? Like, they have their own shower
It's
in
literally
there.
like a nice little dorm, like like a studio apartment, I guess you'd say.
They have, like, internet. They have TV. They have video games. Like, they can go work out. Like, I think a lot of them have kitchenettes where they can cook their own
They
food
do,
and shit.
and they have like full access to education. All of them, like they can go to any kind of trade school they want to learn to.
God, isn't it wild? It almost sounds like a Norwegian prison is better than, like, the streets of fucking New York City or San
Dude,
Francisco.
it probably is. I mean, you would be safer in a Norwegian prison.
But I just want to tell that little story because that dude obviously is a horrible human.
He's a terrible person and still gets decent treatment.
Damn, I'm getting over being sick, but I'm almost there. I'm not quite 100%. But yeah, it just kind of highlighted. And even like, you know, someone like that, mass murderer, they still treat very well. But to go back to the picture of Greta Thunberg that I saw was funny. This is like super quick. But somebody on X posted it. And I didn't think it was doctored at all, but then I saw the community notes or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Where they basically fact check your shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, dude, let me just pull it up what it actually said, man. Because it was the picture, but they photoshopped it to where her tits were just massive. Right? And the community notes addressed that in there.
They were like, notice, Greta's tits are not as big in real life. This is an edited photo.
Okay, so that's the photo. Right? So it's just her being arrested and someone just like photoshopped, like, I mean, they gave her like some double D's or something. And so it says readers added context. This is on X or whatever. And it was actually posted by a page called Garbage Human, if you want to track them down. 2 separate words. But it says, this image has been digitally altered to make Greta Thunberg's breast appear larger than reality. There are several unaltered videos of the event to compare this image to. It's like, what the fuck? So someone out there to fact check that shit was just like, no, her tits aren't that big.
They were like, Jesus, Greta's tits are not that big. I am reporting you.
Oh, what the fuck, man? Holy shit, dude. I guess we got like one more thing we want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like wrap it up. It's getting close or whatever. Shit, that earthquake in New York City, man. The shit that is just, there's 2 places in America where, to me personally, this is evidence that God exists. Because the biblical plagues that fall on California and New York, that's only possible with like a vengeful, pissed off God. You know?
I mean, normally New York doesn't get the well, I guess they get brutal ass winters, but California obviously gets the damn wildfires every year. And then this crazy earthquake that hit New York.
Yeah.
But
it was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, dude. I don't know.
We got a quick video on that.
As that earthquake rocking the whole city of New York, a magnitude of 4.8. So far, no injuries have been reported, and there have been no reports of major infrastructure damage. Cameras did capture the moments it hit during a United Nations meeting. Take a look.
A place where children can seek humanitarian services and normality. Go ahead. Education is...
Earthquake.
Is that an earthquake?
Yeah.
You heard the speaker pause and ask another attendee, is that an earthquake?
They were pretty damn calm about that. But dude, imagine if you were in a UN meeting and then your seat starts vibrating, dude. I would freak out.
I'd be like,
we were getting attacked.
Is this fucking Hamas?
Yeah.
God damn it. I knew those motherfuckers were coming. Yeah, dude. Yeah, any high level like government, non-government organizations like that, like, yeah, dude. Like, I'd be on edge going to meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
And be like, should we all be in the same room together?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's I mean, it's a good thing nobody was hurt. There was no like there was no real damage or anything like that. But it's still like, it's fucking weird. It's like New York, really? Like all the way up there? Because you never hear about them having like earthquakes.
No, like I literally can't remember a time when they've had one that I can remember.
And then California, they're like a fucking hair away from breaking off into the Pacific. So like that's nonstop.
We need to give them some crowbars and help them.
Have you ever been in an earthquake, man?
I slept through one.
Really?
Yeah, it was in Afghanistan. It happened. I was on night shift. It happened early in the morning. It was a low one. It was under, I think it was like a 3.2. Like it was super low. I slept through the damn thing. Whenever I got to work, people were like, "Oh, you feel that earthquake?" I was like, "Hell no." I was exhausted.
I heard it feels weird, like when it starts, but
like everything just kind of starts vibrating or something.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a hair in my throat, basically.
But
yeah, like it was described to me as like, it's like all of a sudden you're just like on a raft in the water, and it's just like you're like, oh shit, you know? So, but yeah, man, and then just to top it off, I mean, also the Statue of Liberty was struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Like all around the same time or whatever, man. Shit, do you want to watch that video now?
Yeah.
Like pull that up? Because this all ties into like some stuff I want to bring up.
Of weather, have you heard about this? Statue of Liberty in New York hit by a big lightning bolt on Wednesday.
That looks cool.
According to the photographer that took this photo. The photos were taken about 6 p.m. Eastern time yesterday from Liberty State Park in New Jersey. Powerful thunderstorm knocked out power to thousands in North New Jersey. Wind gusts reached up to 50 miles an hour during that storm. It's unclear if the Statue of Liberty sustained any major damage.
Oh, man. So where to start with all this, dude? God, I don't know, man. I feel like New York's had like a rough ride like the last decade, man. Like,
man, they aside from the earthquake and shit, they've been bringing that on themselves.
Yeah, well, I remember like Hurricane Sandy.
Oh yeah, that was
when like literally the streets in New York were flooded like almost fucking waist high and stuff.
Dude, remember that show? It was End of the World with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Day After Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit.
That's what I'm telling you, Dan. That's why I see evidence that there's a God. It's because that shit's happening. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's wild. Like I mean, get an earthquake, and then it's like, what blew my mind with the whole, especially the Statue of Liberty thing, and with this eclipse coming up, because have you seen like these conspiracies about the eclipse?
Yeah.
It's like religious wackadoos, man. But
they're like, oh, the path is in a triangle. It goes across these cities. Like,
the Freemasons are gonna meet up and suck each other off, you know, like or whatever. But so some people are saying that, like, you know, like a lot of like religious folks are like, oh, like this is it's symbolic in nature, right? Like the Statue of Liberty being struck by lightning and like all these, you know, essentially disasters occurring. Yeah. And one person that keeps like promoting this is that Marjorie Taylor Greene. And if you want to get infuriated, just follow her on X. Okay. She was the woman at Biden's State of the Union address that was all maggot out.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And this chick is fucking insane, dude. She is crazy as fuck. So she just goes on And her stuff constantly gets fact checked and like corrected and shit. Dude, it's so insane. But she was
Is she one of the ones that thinks Trump is like the second coming?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she was posting some crazy shit the other day, man. She was talking about like these earthquakes, the Statue of Liberty being struck by lightning, the eclipse. She was like, basically this is God telling us that this is the end of time.
Prepare.
Yeah, and it's like pretty much like she was insinuating that liberals are going to be punished. Like it's what I got out of this.
She's like, you guys voted for Biden.
But yeah. And this is kind of the moment I realized I don't really want to live on this planet anymore. Because like she started talking about the eclipse and like all like the hidden symbolism and the meaning behind it. I was like, because it can't be as simple as 3 balls orbiting each other. That just it can't be that, right? But
so, every once in a while happen to line up at the same time.
Yeah, dude. And they're like, oh, this eclipse is happening or whatever.
Because it happened, or a similar one happened in 1972, right? 72 or 74?
It was the 70s, and they were like, the next one won't happen until this year.
Yeah.
So, but
obviously that shit happened in the past.
Mm-hmm. And then like this one was predicted, I think like over 300 years ago, too. So it's like, I mean, once you know, like,
yeah, it's on a schedule. Like, it's just the people that wake up and do no research and have no understanding of shit are like, oh my god, this is happening.
It's like being surprised that Monday falls after Sunday.
Yeah, or like saying like, I don't know, guys, Christmas just snuck up on me this year.
Sorry, hold on. But yeah, man, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, dude, she's something else, man. We might have to just do a whole thing where we pull up some of her stuff and just go through like some of her tweets, man, because she don't give a fuck, man. And then the amount of people that I almost admire it, even though I think she's very like, I just think she's really stupid, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if she's actually stupid, but she's definitely playing.
Or she's playing a part.
Yeah, and because she'll just believe anything. So she like believes like in QAnon 100%. And I'm like 100%. Okay, like I'm always a firm believer, no smoke without a fire. But lady, 100% of anything is not a good idea.
Yeah,
to fall into that.
Like don't put all your eggs in one basket on shit. Like at least be a little apprehensive on things you hear.
Yeah, man, and she's just something else, dude. But my thing is like 9 out of 10 times it has like a religious spin to it, and it's kind of funny because she got like caught like cheating on her husband and shit. Yeah, and so she's always talking about like this like religious
morals and
shit.
values and shit.
And so she's
funny how that works.
And if you just go to like the comment section, you literally just everybody's like, "How's your husband doing?" You know, like whatever. So it was like with her gym instructor or some crap. I don't know. It's kind of
how stereotypical, man.
Yeah, dude. But I don't know, dude. She's something else, dude. It's the crazy religious shit that actually gets me, man. It's not the fact that someone is religious. It's just
when they take it to extremes.
Yeah, man. And then like unfortunately, a lot of these people end up in like Congress.
Yeah.
You know,
or, like positions of power in general.
Yeah. And one thing that kind of gets me too, man, is like you'll see it a lot of times. People will like politicians, especially like in the southern, Bible Belt region, like they will use the Bible for their advantage, right?
Yeah.
Like cater to like Christians, right? Fine, sure, whatever. But what is entertaining to me is when they try to stand on like the principle that like, hey, like America was founded on Christianity. And it's funny because there was a really good quote by Thomas Jefferson that essentially paraphrased, but it says America in no way, shape, or form is a religious country. It was not found on a religion.
Like that's kind of the point of creating America.
I think he specifically said Christianity in it. But yeah, it was the whole thing. It was supposed to be completely separate. And so now you got like psychos like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like in the halls of Congress, like freaking out because there's going to be a shadow over the sun. But
oh yeah, so the day of release, this episode will air a little bit before the eclipse happens. So
that is kind of cool,
man. This could be our last episode.
Dun dun dun.
But we got to keep it positive.
I'm always positive, man.